On the 20th of May, 1940, three Potez 633 aircraft took off from a French airfield near Arras. Their mission was to strafe advancing German columns, a desperate attempt to slow the blitzkrieg tearing through France. Armed with bombs and machine guns, these twin-engine machines roared into action, but within 48 hours, the type was withdrawn from frontline service, deemed too vulnerable against the Luftwaffe's Messerschmitts. This was the Potez 630 series, a family of aircraft designed to meet the demands of a rapidly modernizing French Air Force, yet destined to face the harsh realities of a war it was not fully prepared for. In the 1930s, Europe stood on the brink of conflict. France, still scarred from the First World War, faced a resurgent Germany under Adolf Hitler. The French Air Force, known as the Armée de l'Air, grappled with a critical problem. Its aircraft were aging, and its doctrine was outdated. Single-engine fighters like the Maureen-Saulnier MS-406 were nimble, but lacked the versatility to counter the multifaceted threats of modern warfare. The Luftwaffe's Messerschmitt Bf-109 and Bf-110 showcased Germany's focus on speed, firepower, and tactical flexibility. France needed a new aircraft capable of multiple roles: day fighting, night interception, reconnaissance, and ground attack, to bridge the gap between its obsolete biplanes and the demands of a potential Second World War. The French Ministry of Air, on the 31st of October, 1934, issued a specification for a twin-engine, multi-role heavy fighter, designated C-3, for 3 crew members. This aircraft had to lead single-seat fighter formations, escort bombers, and intercept enemy aircraft at night, all while matching the maneuverability of lighter fighters. The Potez 630 emerged from this urgent need. Designed by the French firm Potez, founded by Henry Potez in 1919, the aircraft was a response to the ministry's call. Potez, based in Mayotte, Picardy, had a reputation for producing reliable aircraft, including the Potez 25 biplane, which saw success in the 1920s. The design team, led by engineers Louis Caraller and André Delarole, began work in 1935. Their goal was to create a low-wing monoplane with a sleek, modern profile, drawing inspiration from contemporary designs like the German Messerschmitt Bf-110 and the British Bristol Blenheim. The Potez 630 was envisioned as a versatile platform, adaptable to various roles through modular variants. Development was swift but not without challenges. The prototype, designated Potez 630-01, took its first flight on the 25th of April, 1936, from Mayotte. Powered by 2 Hispano-Suiza 14 OB023 radial engines, each producing 670 horsepower, the aircraft showed promise. Test pilots at the Centre d'Essais de Matériels Aériens in Villers-Villecable reported favorable handling, with a top speed of 280 miles per hour at 13,123 feet. However, the engines proved problematic, prone to overheating and vibration. By 1937, Potez introduced the 631 variant, equipped with Gnome 14 M45 radial engines, each delivering 700 horsepower. This change improved reliability and performance, pushing the top speed to 295 miles per hour. The airframe, constructed from duralumin with fabric-covered control surfaces, featured a twin-tail design for stability and a long, glazed canopy for excellent crew visibility. The design prioritized ease of maintenance, with accessible engine compartments and modular components, allowing rapid repairs in field conditions. The French Air Force demanded rigorous trials. Between 1936 and 1938, prototypes underwent extensive testing at Villers-Villecable and Cazox air bases. Pilots praised the aircraft's maneuverability, noting it could hold its own against single-seat fighters like the Du-Tin D-510 in mock dogfights. However, concerns arose about its climb rate, which took 15 minutes to reach 13,000 feet, and its vulnerability to enemy fighters. Armament tests revealed the effectiveness of the 2 20mm Hispano-Suiza HS-404 cannons mounted in under-fuselage gondolas, supplemented by a 7.5mm Mach 1934 machine gun in the rear cockpit. Later variants, like the 631, added 4 wing-mounted machine guns, increasing firepower but also weight. By 1938, the Potez 630 series was approved for production, with orders placed for over 1,000 units across multiple variants. The Potez 630 family was a technical marvel for its time. The base model, the 630, measured 36 feet 4 inches in length with a wingspan of 52 feet 6 inches. Its maximum takeoff weight was 9,987 pounds. The aircraft carried a crew of 3, a pilot, a gunner, and a commander or observer. The Hispano-Suiza-powered 630 achieved a range of 620 miles and a service ceiling of 32,800 feet. The 631, with Nomron engines, slightly outperformed its predecessor, with a range of 746 miles. Armament varied by variant. The 631 featured two 20mm cannons and up to 6 7.5mm machine guns, 4 in wing gondolas. The 6311, designed for reconnaissance, carried up to 12 machine guns, including defensive positions, and a ventral camera for battlefield photography. The 633, a light bomber, could carry 400 kilograms of bombs, typically 8 50-kilogram or 2 200-kilogram bombs. The airframe's duralumin structure provided durability, though its lack of armor made it susceptible to enemy fire. Fuel capacity was 400 gallons, stored in wing tanks, giving the aircraft an endurance of 4 hours at 199 miles per hour. A notable feature was the aircraft's mass production design, with components standardized to reduce costs. A single Potez 630 was cheaper to build than a Maureen Saulnier MS-406, allowing rapid assembly at factories in Mayotte and Suresnes. Production began in 1938, with deliveries to the Armée de l'Air starting before year's end. The Potez 630 series was assigned to various units, including night fighter squadrons and reconnaissance groups. By May 1940, over 700 aircraft, primarily 6311s, were in service. The French Naval Air Arm, Aéronavale, operated the 631 with Flottille F-1C, based at Berck-sur-Mer. Export orders followed, with Romania receiving deliveries in late 1938 and Greece in spring 1939. 9 633s intended for China were requisitioned by French authorities in Indochina, while Poland and Switzerland operated small numbers. The aircraft's versatility made it appealing, but its performance limitations were evident even before combat began. When Germany invaded France on the 10th of May, 1940, the Potez 630 series faced its first true test. The Battle of France was a brutal campaign, with the Luftwaffe dominating the skies. The 630, designed as a day fighter, struggled against the Messerschmitt Bf 109, which was 130 kilometers per hour faster. On the 12th of May, 1940, 631s from Groupe de Chasse II-5 at Toul engaged German bombers near Sedan but suffered heavy losses, with 3 aircraft shot down by Bf 109s. The 631's role as a night fighter was equally challenging. Without radar, pilots relied on ground observers and searchlights, limiting their effectiveness. On the night of the 15th of May, 1940, a 631 from Escadrille de Chasse de Nuit I-13 at Reims intercepted a Dornier Du-17, but failed to score a hit due to poor visibility. The 633's only combat mission in France occurred on the 20th of May, when 3 aircraft from Groupe de Bombardement strafed German troops near Arras. All returned safely, but the mission highlighted the type's vulnerability, leading to its withdrawal 2 days later. The 6311, used for reconnaissance and army cooperation, saw the heaviest action. By June 1940, 12 groups d'observation aérienne, based at airfields like Châteauroux and Tours, operated 436 311s. On the 14th of May, 1940, a 6311 from GAO I-508 photographed German panzer divisions crossing the Meuse, providing critical intelligence to French commanders. However, the aircraft faced devastating losses, with over 220 destroyed or abandoned by the armistice on the 25th of June, 1940. Ground fire and Luftwaffe fighters, particularly near Dunkirk, claimed many. Pilot accounts, such as those from Lieutenant Jacques Morrow of GAO II-552, describe the 6311's ability to absorb damage but its sluggish speed, making it an easy target. Morrow's aircraft was hit by flak over Amiens on the 18th of May, 1940, but he managed to crash land near Rouen, surviving with minor injuries. Outside France, the Potez 630 series saw limited but notable action. In Greece, 6 633s operated by the Hellenic Air Force engaged Italian forces during the Greco-Italian War, starting on the 28th of October, 1940. On the 3rd of November, 1940, a 633 from Myra 31 bombed Italian positions near Korça, Albania, but was shot down by Fiat CR-42 fighters. Romania's 26 33s, operated by Flotilla 1 bombardment at Brasov, saw combat against Soviet forces in southern Ukraine in July 1941. On the 9th of July 1941, a Romanian 633 was lost to Soviet I-16 fighters near Odessa. In French Indochina, 9 633s, based at Tehran, now Da Nang, fought in the Franco-Thai War from October 1940 to May 1941. On the 17th of January 1941, Thai Curtiss Hawk 75N fighters strafed Siem Reap, destroying 2 633s on the ground. The Vichy French Air Force, established after France's surrender, operated 246 630 series aircraft, primarily 6-311s, in North Africa and southern France. During Operation Torch, the Allied invasion of North Africa on the 8th of November, 1942, American bombers destroyed 30 Vichy 6-311s at Oran. Free French forces, based in Chad, used 3 630 aircraft for supply missions in 1942, with one crashing near Fort Lamy on the 12th of March, 1942. The Potez 630's combat record was mixed. Its versatility allowed it to serve in multiple roles, but its underpowered engines and lack of armor made it vulnerable. The French Naval Air Arms Flottille F-1C was a rare success, downing 12 enemy aircraft between the 10th and 21st of May, 1940, at a cost of 8 losses. Pilot accounts, such as those from Ensign Pierre Dubois of Flottille F-1C, highlight the aircraft's maneuverability, which allowed it to evade Bf-110s in low-level chases near Calais. However, the type's similarity to the Messerschmitt Bf-110, with its twin engines and long canopy, led to tragic friendly fire incidents. On the 16th of May, 1940, a 631 from Groupe de Chasse I-4 was mistakenly shot down by French anti-aircraft guns near Lille. As the war progressed, the Potez 630's frontline role diminished. Vichy France relegated most to training and liaison duties by 1941, with units like École de l'Air at Salon-de-Provence using 6-311s to train navigators. Free French forces phased out their 630 aircraft by 1943, replacing them with American-supplied Douglas 8-1E Bostons. Axis forces, including Germany and Italy, captured several aircraft after the fall of France. The Luftwaffe tested 6 6-311s at Richlin in 1941, but found them unsuitable for combat, using them instead for transport until 1943. The Italian Regia Aeronautica operated 10 633s in Albania until 1942, when spares ran out. Production of the Potez 630 series totaled 1,100 units by 1942, with 736 delivered before France's surrender. The SNCAN factory at Mayotte produced 650 aircraft, while Schursnes assembled 450. Variants included the 630 80 units, 631 2-in-service fighters, 220 units, 637 reconnaissance aircraft, 30 units, 6-311 Army cooperation aircraft, 736 units, and 633 light bombers, 60 units. Other variants, like the 6-312 and 6-316, were prototypes or trainers with only 1 or 2 built. The aircraft's production was notable for its efficiency, with assembly lines optimized for speed and cost, though quality control issues led to delays in 1939. Today, few Potez 630 aircraft survive. One 6-311, restored from scratch by Frenchman Jean-Marie Garrick in Harlingen, Texas, flew again in July 2012. Built using original blueprints, it is powered by Pratt & Whitney R985 engines, a departure from the original Nomron radials. This aircraft, now privately owned, is the only airworthy example, displayed at airshows in the United States. A second 6-311, a wrecked airframe, is preserved at the Musée de l'Air et de l'Espace in Le Bourget, France. Several wrecks were recovered from North Africa and Greece, but remain unrestored. The type's replacements, such as the Breguet 693 and American P-38 Lightning, outperformed it in speed and survivability, rendering it obsolete by 1943. The Potez 630's legacy is one of ambition and adaptation. Designed to meet the complex demands of a looming world war, it served France and its allies in diverse roles, from night fighting to reconnaissance. Its maneuverability and ease of production were strengths, but its underpowered engines and vulnerability to enemy fighters limited its impact. The aircraft's story, documented in works like Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, Flight to Arras, which recounts his experiences flying a 637, reflects the courage of its crews amidst overwhelming odds. Though overshadowed by more successful designs, the Potez 630 remains a testament to France's pre-war aviation efforts, a versatile machine that fought on multiple fronts in a war it was not destined to win. In the skies over France, Greece, and beyond, the Potez 630 flew with determination, a symbol of a nation's resolve in the face of a world at war.